Hi, welcome back to the MrShowtym podcast. And in this video, I'd like to address just one talking point that Donovan Sharpe and Everett, Coach Everett Overton, made on a live stream, a show they did a month ago titled "Let's Talk About Interracial Dating." Now, this is actually my first time disagreeing with. This is my first disagreement I have with Donovan Sharpe. I've been watching Donovan Sharpe since 2017, 16. Let's just say 2017, and I absolutely love the way Donovan Sharpe treats his colleagues, his hosts. Sorry, not his hosts, his colleagues, his guests as a host, and I love his professionalism. Right, this is my first time having a disagreement. It's just one disagreement. Now, diving straight into the topic, Donovan Sharpe and Everett Overton said that white men will not mess with a white woman once they find out that they've slept with a fellow black man. And it's not because of some racial tension or issue. It's because of sexual incompetency. Because, black guys usually are stereotyped to have huge eggplant emojis. I disagree. Now, sometimes that may be a factor. But Donovan, why are you brushing on the surface? It has more to do with racial lines than it has to do with sexual incompetency. Donovan, you see, I know, even Coach Everett Overton said it himself in that same live stream. He once was dealing with this Italian Greek girl when he was in high school, and then as soon as he found out that she slept with a black guy, he said, nah, that girl she's tainted now. Everett Overton said it himself. You see, Donovan, us as black folks, we have to stop being so psychologically inferior. We have to stop seeking validation from white people. This is the one thing I wish that our race, would stop doing. I wish we would stop this inferiority mental complex. Because listen, the reason why white men will discard a white woman who's been with a black guy is because white men, they are repulsed by not just by our behaviors, but more so based on how we look. This is the same thing that spawned unfortunate historic events for our people. Okay? Now, don't get me twisted. I'm not bothered the fact that white people don't like the way we look. They're repulsed by us. Hey, listen. I'm on my own lane. And on top of that, personally speaking, today I don't have a problem with white people. I was born and raised in a white community, and I don't have a problem with them. Yes, I am aware of historical events, but we're talking specifically about interracial dating. Donovan, it has exactly to do with the perceptions that white people have of us. You see, what I hate about our people is it's again, it's the inferiority complex. It's it's not it's not about what happened to us in the past and historically. No, that we can't control. It's in the past. I'm looking at what we are accountable for, what we can control, and that's our behaviors. Now, hence our behaviors. Black culture has become criminal culture. Black culture has become buffoonery culture. A lot of our people are just out here, they're just mentally twisted. Shout out to Angry Man. He talks a lot about the dysfunctions going on in the black community. But back to the topic, yeah? As a result of the way we're portrayed in the media, and also love what Everett Overton said. A lot of black men are just a bunch of mama's boys, to be honest. Raised by single mothers, and a lot of black men are walking around with feminine energy. I was kicked out of an athletics club because a coach of mine, my athletics coach, he didn't like a meme that had to do with, divorce courts, and it was a meme, it was a cartoon meme, and he kicked me out the group just for that. Because he was obviously raised by a single mother. Something I peeped on later. Donovan, it has exactly to do with, it has less, sexual incompetency does have, it is a factor. It's a factor, yes. Black men in general have huge dongs. That's our stereotype. And when when white men look at black men, they are thinking, oh, okay, do I even measure up? Yes, I agree. It's a factor, but that's not the main reason. And I just said what the main reason was. It's because the way black people are being portrayed, as not only are we being portrayed, but we act as the scums of the earth. Apparently now, our dysfunction has become so bad. Not even black people want to associate with black people. They don't want to even be called black people. If you ask Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, what is he? He'll tell you he's Samoan. Even though his father is black, so he's more black because his father is black. His mother is Samoan, but he chooses to identify with his Samoan side. This is how bad it is. Dwayne Johnson's not the only one. We have the likes of Victor Cruz, the former NFL football player. His father's black. His mother is Puerto Rican. And he doesn't identify with being black, I heard. So imagine if you, Donovan, are a white person, a white man. Of course you're gonna feel some sort of repulsiveness towards black people because of how they act, our behaviors. Of course you don't want to be associated with such. Of course, you're gonna look at someone, a girl who's been messing with black guys as, oh, okay, what's wrong with her? Why is she dealing with those people? It's become so bad, even black folks in themselves have a self-hate complex, a self-hatred complex. It's the same reason why a lot of black men are bald. They don't like their hair. Now, again, don't get me twisted. I do not have a self-hate complex. Just because I'm talking about this doesn't mean that, oh, you hate black people. No. I care enough to acknowledge it, to put it out there so that we can be aware of how we behave, and hopefully we can fix it. I say this because I care. Now, some stupid Negroes are gonna come into my comment section. You say this because you hate yourself. Shut up. How about they're just an idiot? You're just an idiot. I'm talking to those trolls who are gonna come into my comment section. Black people are so monolithic in our thinking. This is what makes us weak. This is what makes us inferior. We think and operate like slaves, programmable slaves. And don't even get me started about the way we go about politics. Black folks treat politics like it's a popularity contest. Forgive my sound quality and forgive my mumbling. I just have 1,000 things to say at once. But Donovan and Coach Overton, the reason why white men kind of like it's the same thing with with Matt James, the first Black Bachelorette. Yeah, perfect example. Perfect example. That season was, I'm pretty sure it had a lot of eyes on it. Matt James, the first Black Bachelorette, having his way with all those snow bunny white women. Again, Donovan, the reason why white men will not want to mess with a white woman who's dealing with black men is because of the perceptions from the media and also our behaviors. It's got less to do with sexual competency. Yes, it is a factor, but that's not the main factor. Main factor is racial lines. Let's not be afraid to talk about these touchy subjects, because I'm hitting home. Donovan, you two and you and Everett Overton, you hit the nail on the coffin. You guys were spot on. You were aiming towards the bullseye, and then with that particular talking point, you decide to make a misfire because you're scared to like really go into it. I'm not afraid to go into it, but that's just my one disagreement I had with what the talking points you guys said. So that's my only disagreements. But aside from that, love your show. Shout out to TSR. Shout out to Coach Coach Everett Overton. Yeah. Cheers, gentlemen.